What's up, everybody? Video number 2. Just got down to the water in Bremerton. Love this place down here. It's fucking beautiful. Hopefully it doesn't rain. Sun's out. It's a little breezy. A little cold, but I'm alright. I'm going to show you guys a new tattoo I got. USMC, hoorah. First moto tat. Where that tattoo is right now is a place on my arm where I cut myself multiple times. First time it happened when I was in the Marines. I got caught using spice and they asked me why I was doing it and why I was using. This is before the cutting incident happened, and I told them that depression and anxiety and the hard thoughts of being so far from home. You know, I lived in Washington my whole life, and then when I got into the Marines, I went to San Diego for boot camp, Pendleton for MCT, Pensacola, Florida for A school to work on jets, and then Cherry Point, North Carolina. I was away for a long period of time, and it was hard for me because I was so close to my friends that I had made. And they put me on Klonopin and Zoloft for anxiety and depression. 2 weeks into it, I was in my Conex box where I worked, and I found a razor that we had used to cut open packages and other things. It was a very sharp blade. And I wasn't really in my right mind, and I pretty much took that razor and started cutting on my arm. Like, what does this feel like? How does it feel? It wasn't like trying to kill myself. It was more like a, you know, I'm just curious. And I faintly remember it, but I know I wasn't in control of myself. I was just cutting on my arm. I probably did it like 5 or 6 times, and then my corporal walked in and saw me. Told me to stop, made me give him the razor blade, and then he brought me inside to maintenance control where all the higher ups were, and took me to my captain, my master sergeant, and I immediately got sent to Camp Lejeune to the psychiatric ward. And I was locked up for 3 days. I woke up that next day with a bandage on my arm, more clear-minded because the Zoloft and Klonopin had wore off, and I was really confused on why I was there and upset. But I knew that I had cut on my arm, and I was furious. Not with myself, but with the people that made me take that stuff, you know? I know they were trying to help, and I know with anti-anxiety and antidepressant medication, they have to do some experimentation with you because everyone's different. Everyone has different chemical balances in their brain, and I knew that it affected me the wrong way. So if they probably would have tried some other medications, maybe it could have helped. But I had those scars on my arm, and every time I would get tan from the sun being outside, they would get lighter and they would show more, and I couldn't stand it. And you could tell they were cut marks. They weren't something that happened in an accident. You could tell. And then it happened again last October. I was working for a company, and when I started working with that company, they told me that, you know, that I had to do good or else I was going to get let go. It was a door-to-door salesman job, and I was selling roof windows and siding, and I didn't do well at all. And I told them that I needed this job, like this job I really needed. If this didn't work out, I didn't know what I was going to do. And pretty much, I didn't do so well, mostly because of the anxiety of knowing that if I didn't do so well, I was going to get let go, and it really impacted my selling abilities, and they let me go. And that night I went home in a lot of pain mentally, confused and hurt and not knowing what I was going to do. This is when I was still in my addiction, using heroin and meth and weed, and I did it again in the same spot, and it brought up a lot of bad memories because I started cutting on my arm with a dull blade, so I had to cut pretty hard. And it wasn't on my wrist on the inside, it was on the outside of my forearm, just where I showed you, and I accumulated more scars. I also tried hanging myself that night. I used some rope that I had and tied myself up to the rail in my closet, and thank God I wasn't hanging, I was only leaning forward, but the second that rope got tight, I freaked out and realized what I was doing. But I was so depressed that I actually tried to hang myself. That's incredible to me, how I can become so down and so deep in my head that I tried killing myself over losing a job. I was only 29 at the time. I'm 30 now, just turned 30, but you know, I'm only 29. Like, I got a lot of life ahead of me. I'm gonna try to kill myself over losing a fucking job? Are you joking? Like, I couldn't believe that. And that was one of the things that made me realize that I needed some fucking help. And I tried getting clean myself for about a month, and then, you know, went back again, didn't work. So that's why I went to treatment this last January. And if it wasn't for everything I've gone through, you know, I probably wouldn't have decided to try to help myself in that way. You know, I thank God every day to the fact that I never got in trouble for drugs, and I don't have to deal with drug court, you know, and I have nothing against anyone who does, you know. It's just how you got pushed into getting some help. And hopefully if you are in drug court, you're trying your best, because, you know, this fucking addiction shit ain't worth it. Look at this fucking, look at the view. Like, you kill yourself, you lose the ability to see this. See all this beauty. Why would you want to lose that? And I tried killing myself for a fucking job, over a job that I lost. It's incredible to me how deep we can get when the things in our life that have happened to us we hold inside and don't talk about. You know, I'm making these videos for that reason, because I know that if I don't talk about this shit, it's gonna boil up until the point where it can't fill any more gaps, and it'll overflow and I'll blow up again. I can't do that. So hopefully anyone that's seeing this video realizes that all that stuff that's happened to you in your life and everything you've gone through, you can't bottle up, because that bottle only has so much volume, and once you've reached that volume peak and it starts to overflow, you can't contain it, because you're still adding more and more and more, and there's no more room to fill, and you will explode and overflow, and it'll just come rushing out like a dam's broke. That's what happened to me. My whole life, everything that I've gone through, I didn't want to talk about, because I thought people were going to judge me. People were going to think I'm weird, crazy, insane, you know, not want to be around me. I wouldn't want to be around me how I was acting before I started letting all this shit out. I was a fucking mess. I could not deal with anybody saying anything to me in a joking manner, because I feel like they were attacking me because of what I had gone through, but they didn't know anything about it because I never talked about it. So that's insane to think. Why would they be making fun of me for my past when I haven't even told them? But that's how I was, you know? I judged myself through other people's eyes. I had a hard time having a conversation with somebody, talking about anything and looking them in the eyes most of the conversation, and I would sit there and think what they were thinking about me, and I would negatively judge myself based on the way their facial expression was. Like, I don't know who does that. Who else does that? I did it. I don't know why I did it, because, no, yes I do. I did it because I didn't talk about everything, and I bottled it all in, and I didn't know how to deal with all that pain. And it's crazy to me how far I've gotten today. I'm on day 58. Day 58. And it's not only day 58, it's fucking day 50-fucking-8. I got 2 more days till I get that 60-day key tag, which is gonna be a party. A sober party, but a party. It's gonna be incredible. It's gonna fill me with so much joy and make me want to keep pushing, because in 30 more days I get that 90-day key tag. It's incredible to me how far I've gone. And I'm incredibly happy today. Everything that has happened to me since I got out of treatment has been so positive, and I've been pushing forward every single day. You know, I'm getting ready to move up to Marysville in 2 days, and rent's due for the move-in fee, and I don't have it yet, but I've been trying to get it and don't quite know what I'm gonna do. But I just gotta stay positive and be open and talk with people about my problems. Because if I don't talk with people about my problems, how are they gonna know about my problems and know how to help? Because obviously, I don't know how to help myself sometimes with the problems that I have, because I don't talk about them. You have to open up to people. When I opened up about my molestation in treatment, I was scared because it came flooding out. I sat there, we were in fishbowl. What fishbowl in treatment is everyone sits around the outside in a circle facing in, and there's 4 chairs in the middle. And whoever wants to share can get up and sit in one of those 4 chairs and share about whatever they want to share about. And everyone else on the outside doesn't say a word. And no one else is supposed to come up to you afterwards and talk about it to you. If you want to talk about it with somebody, you can. But 2 people had shared about being molested as a child. And I got up next and started talking about me being beat as a child and the way I was disciplined. And all of a sudden, it came flooding out about my molestation, how a person I thought was a friend used my addiction against me and made me do things that I didn't want to do. And because of my addiction, I wasn't in the right mind. I was under substances that made me not think clearly and took away inhibitions and rational thinking and made me do things, not forcefully physically, so it wasn't a rape. I know I had said rape before in the first video, but I was explained by a friend that it wasn't a rape, it was a molestation. But it happened over the course of 4 years. And I was so embarrassed and so ashamed of that stuff that nobody knew. No one found out except for that person that was doing it to me. Nobody knew. I didn't want to tell anybody about it because I was so ashamed of the things I was doing, so that way I can get the drugs I needed to be okay. So I was doing stuff that didn't make me feel okay to get drugs that made me feel okay. The definition of insanity is doing something over and over and over and over, expecting different results. And I was doing the same thing over and over and over and over, expecting different results. That doesn't make any sense. Why would I do that? Why would I keep doing something that didn't make me feel good to get something that made me feel good? It's just a vicious circle of hell. And today I can talk about that. I'm making this video, recording this video, putting it up on Facebook so you guys can watch it. Because I know someone's going to see this video, just at least one, you know. And before, if even one person found out about my past, I was not comfortable with that. That's why I didn't talk about it. There was no way someone was going to find out about that shit that I had gone through. No fucking way. But it came out that day. And after I talked about it, I went outside and had a cigarette in the smoke pit. And at least half the people that were in that circle come up to me and tell me how courageous I was for sharing that and how much of an inspiration I was to them. And it made them feel a little stronger to share about stuff that they didn't want to talk about. So when I had the idea to make these videos, I thought about that moment and a bunch of the moments afterwards, because it happened more than once. More than one person came up in more than one certain time and told me how much of an inspiration I was and how courageous I am for sharing what I shared. So I have to keep sharing it. I have to keep sharing about my past. Some people don't want to talk about that stuff because they don't want to relive those moments, you know. And someone had told me when I talk about the stuff that I'm talking about, I shouldn't go super in depth with details of what happened because it might trigger somebody else to use. And that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give people hope and strength and courage to share about the stuff that they have gone through, so that way they can start to heal themselves and feel better. Because we used drugs before to numb ourselves from the pain of everything we had gone through. You know, that's not helping. When a weed grows in a garden, if you just pull off the leaves, it's going to stay there. It's going to keep growing back and back. You got to get to the roots. The roots. You got to pull all the roots out where it first started and where it has its grasp in the ground. It's just like our problems. Our problems have roots embedded in us. And the only way that we're going to be able to get rid of those weeds, those problems in our life, is if we pull them by the roots. Granted, what happened in our past will never go away. They're memories. But the pain can. And the pain is those roots. The pain is what sits inside us that we don't deal with until we do. We cannot treat the symptoms. We must deal with the root of the problem. You know? Another thing that I thought about was a way a tree grows. When a tree grows, it starts very young. It comes up from the ground. And there's nothing really around it, you know, except for environment. And the wind every day will blow on that tree as it's a baby sapling and grows up and grows up. And that wind in our life is conflict. Everything that we go through, conflict is not a bad thing. Conflict is a moment that we can grow from and learn from. So as the tree grows and grows and that wind blows and blows, it creates that tree stronger, makes it stronger because it gets beaten from the wind, and the only way for it to stay alive is to grow thicker and stronger. And that's how it gets fatter and bigger, because it has to sustain those conflicts that it goes through every day. You know? Another thing that I thought about is a house. When a house is built, it's built by the human being, okay? So in the same concept, the human being is born from two human beings creating a human. And the soul inside of the human are the people that live inside the house. If the people move out, who's there to sustain and maintain that house? Over a period of time, it'll crumble and return back to the earth. Our bodies will do the same thing. And our minds will do the same thing. If we don't take care and stay inside of our minds and take care of those problems and constantly do maintenance on everything that is holding us down and becoming problematic in our lives, we don't talk about that stuff, our house is going to crumble. Your body, your mind is going to crumble, and you're going to want to give up. The people inside the house are vital to that house's survival. As long as they stay there and live there, and they want to maintain the home they live in, the house will stay intact and do its job for the people that live inside. If the people that live inside don't respect that house, they don't care about it, they don't maintain and take care of it, what's going to happen to the house? It's going to crumble, it's going to fall apart, it's going to break. So why would you want to live in a place that's going to crumble? The only reason I can think of is if you don't care about it. It's the same way with us in our minds. If we don't care about ourselves and our body and our mind, we are not going to survive. We're not going to want to continue. We can't take drugs anymore to numb ourselves because it's not helping the problem. A lot of other reasons why people use drugs is because they don't feel loved. They don't feel like they're cared for. They feel like they're a burden. That's why I felt. That's how I felt. I felt like I was a burden on everybody. Sometimes I still feel that way because I'm not really all the way there that I need to be. I don't have a car yet. I will. I don't have a job yet, but I'm starting on the 1st of the month, you know? So right now I feel like a burden. When I have to go places, sometimes I have to ask for rides. And that makes me feel horrible because someone else is having to help me. But you know, that's okay because we have to ask for people for help sometimes. And it's courageous to ask for help sometimes when you need it. We can't walk and live in this world by ourselves. If you try, you're going to end up on a fucking island talking to a volleyball named Wilson. I swear I would. We got to open up and talk about these things. I'm telling you, if you do that, it'll get easier. It'll get better. Everyone in this world is different. Not everyone's going to be the same. Some people are going to judge, but you know why? Because they think they're better. I'm not better than anybody. At all. And the people that judge think that they're better than you. And they have problems in their lives that they have not dealt with. So don't let that affect you. Only you can control what you think about you. If other people think things about you that are not true, you can't change that. You can't affect their thoughts. You can't physically change their thoughts into how you want them to think about you. Regardless if they think differently about you than you actually are, you can't change that. And those people might tell other people. And then all of a sudden, a vast group of people are going to think negatively about you over something that someone misjudged you on. But you can't let that affect you because that's not you. What other people say about you is not you. You have to realize that. My first video, last time I looked at it, had close to 300 views in over a 36-hour period for me posting it. It was only a 5-minute video. This one's close to 20 minutes now. And I don't want to sit here and babble on and on and on and on, because then, you know, someone's not going to want to watch the whole thing, and I want someone to watch this thing from front to back, all the way to the end. So I'm getting ready to close this down, but I just want to thank everyone that listens to me, everyone that shares these videos, because people around the world need to see it. Because there's some people around the world, a lot of people around the world, that were doing the things that I did, bottling up all that fame, and all that pain, and all that guilt, and that does not help at all. Please, 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 like and share this video, and get your friends to like and share it. And I'm not asking that so I can get popular. I'm asking that so I can reach as many people as possible, so they can help themselves and know that it's possible to recover and heal from the stuff that we've gone through by opening up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and share. I can't stress that enough. Also, comment. If you want to hear me talk about something specific in a video, please comment that below. Please tell me what you want to hear, and I am more than happy to talk about anything. If you got problems in your life that you want to talk with me about, I'm more than happy to take a call and talk with you. I'm no counselor. I'm not educated by any form of education that it takes to get licensed as a counselor or a psychiatrist or a psychologist. I am talking straight from the heart and straight from experience. I love you guys so much. Thank you for my recovery. Thank you for 58 days. 2 more and I get that 60. I'll make a video on day 60. Semper Fi, everyone. Rah. I love you.